Well, do you think she's lying about the security assessments and advice?
Let me play the security assessment back to you. As I mentioned before, the Joint Terrorism Analysis Centre, which is the government's own advisory body, advised Yvette Cooper that there was no evidence whatsoever that Palestine Action has advocated for violence against people. It has, obviously, in its campaigning work, in its direct action campaigning work, used violence against property. That is very, very different from violence against people.
If I may, Sir Jonathon.
So when Yvette Cooper, let me just finish. So when Yvette Cooper implies that Palestine Action has done violence to people, we know that the Home Secretary is not, in this case, revealing the whole truth. Why does she not put that truth into the public domain? I think it's really significant tonight that Palestine Action has accused the Home Secretary of defamatory accusations, and we will no doubt hear a lot more about this.
Sure. 2 points there. She says that she hasn't put that information in the public domain because of court cases, which no one would want to prejudice. And in terms of your point that they don't commit serious violence against people. Actually, I've looked at the Terrorism Act 2000, and it also involves serious damage to property. So that is covered too by the terrorism legislation of 2000.
So, as you just said, Victoria, the Act goes back to 2000. It's quite interesting, isn't it, that it's taken 25 years for that particular power in the 2000 Act to be put into practice against the one organization that is causing this government maximum embarrassment on its complicity in genocide. 25 years have passed without that needing to be brought forward. And let's not have any illusions about this. The government and the police have many powers to use against people taking direct action against property. Criminal damage in this country carries a heavy sanction. So if they wanted to deal with the damage against property, they've got all the powers they need in the existing law. What they did not have was the power to silence Palestine Action, which is what they have now sought to do. Like most people in the UK, I've been following very closely the unfolding genocide going on in Gaza and the increasing disruption from the Israeli Defense Forces in the West Bank. And I've come to the conclusion that the UK government is now incontrovertibly complicit in this genocide, not just through the continuing sale of arms to Israel, but because of its reckless refusal to follow guidance from the International Court of Justice to seek to prevent genocide in countries like Gaza. Now, the most effective organization in highlighting the government's complicity was Palestine Action. So what does our government do? What does the Home Secretary do? It defaults to its absolutely standard authoritarian tactics, and it proscribes it as a terrorist organization, even though its own advisors told the government quite clearly that there was no evidence whatsoever that Palestine Action advocates for any violence against people, and that this would be an unprecedented initiative from the government to proscribe an organization that is using violent action against property. But you will also know, Victoria, that there is a judicial process underway. Palestine Action had its application to have this proscription reviewed in the High Court on July the 30th with Justice Chamberlain. That will now be expedited in November.